Hey guys, we're live, and I think we're live. Yeah, yeah. Hey guys, we're gonna play the intro and get started, and it should be a great show. I just played my intro because I wasn't sure, what was okay. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I have a fascinating guest with me today. We do a lot of shows together. We have amazing Pink Bella Aloha with us today. Pink Bella is a spiritual teacher, ascension guide, and multidimensional intuitive who works with the Galactic Akashic Records. She shares guidance on timelines, plasma energies, and cosmic shifts to help starseeds and lightworkers align with their higher path. Known for her warm approach and deep insights, she brings clarity to complex cosmic topics like interstellar visitors, stargates, and the awakening of humanity to higher consciousness. And I wrote, join Rob at the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I welcome Pink Bella to decode the mysteries of Three Eye Atlas. Is it an interstellar comet or something more? We'll dive into the latest plasma rays, the battle of Three Eye Atlas versus the sun, and the big question, is the sun itself a stargate? Through the lens of the Galactic Akashic Records, Pink Bella brings through a higher dimensional perspective to these cosmic events, exploring their impact on humanity's ascension and awakening of consciousness in 2025. And you can follow Pink Bella on YouTube at Pink Bella at Aloha Pink Bella 888, on Instagram at Pink Bella _Aloha Therapy. And she's on every platform, and I put all the links in the description. So you guys can find it all there. And with all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome. And thanks for the kind words, Matt. Thanks, man. And Matthew said in the audience, he's like, glad I made it back. Okay. But yeah. With all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome back to the show. Pink Bella, thanks so much for coming back on. It's always good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Grateful to be here with all the Star family and tribe. And how are you doing? So glad, yes, that you made it back. What an adventure.
It was quite the adventure. Yeah. Like for the people that don't know, I'll just say real quick. Yeah. I was riding home on the bus this morning it was an all night ride. Right. And some kid, I didn't even know what was going on. We stopped at a rest stop at like 5 a.m. Right. And then the police showed up, and I guess some kid overdosed on the bus. It was horrible. And then some guy that was sitting by him told me that the kid was like in the back and he was laying on the ground and he was throwing up all night. I guess he must have took a shot of some kind of drug before he got on the bus, and it was really bad, and that delayed our trip even more than what it was. So I didn't even end up getting into 8:30 this morning. Needless to say, I had to then take an Uber from Pittsburgh, bus station to my apartment, so this all takes time. Then I wanted to sleep a little bit, so I was late on setting up my shows today. So but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm back. And it was okay. Well, she's amazing. For everybody that knows, she's
Aloha Coley. Yeah, I love your shows. I didn't get a chance to watch them all because I've been too busy. Three Eye Atlas team has been keeping me too busy. Oh, I launched my Substack, by the way, everyone. I've launched a Galactic Substack, and my Three Eye Atlas transmissions will be there. So some will be free, and then some will be behind the support, the memberships.
Yeah, that's awesome. How do you like Substack so far? I like it. You have freedom with it,
Yeah, I love it. I think I started it late last week, and then I just really got into it on Monday. So I've been full pedal to the metal is my saying today. Full pedal. Yeah, and you inspired me because I saw you posting it, and then I saw other people that are following you, and I thought, oh, that's a great venue. I'm a writer. I'm a writer and a blogger as well, so it's a perfect venue for me.
Yeah, I agree. I try to convince everybody to go to Substack because I feel like it's I don't write enough. I should write more, but I just use it to post right now. But I'm going to start writing more. When I first started off, I was writing more, but now whenever I get the urge to write, I just kind of do it, But yeah, it's I love it. It's really cool.
Me too. I feel like it combines all platforms because you can link all your other videos and everything there. You can share. I already had a newsletter co-group as well. Anyway, so I just switched over from that newsletter, and I love it. Because it's instant as well. So I can either share, right on the platform or share out the galactic transmission. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's been going on? You wanted to talk about Three Eye Atlas today. What have you been able to find out? And what have you what do you think it is and what's going on with it?
Yeah, so just before we went live, everyone, I was sharing with Rob. So there's a few of us, but some people are connecting in spiritually with the energy. Some are bringing in transmissions. I'm doing both, and apparently I'm a space geek, which sort of makes sense, doesn't it, Rob? Because I love talking about Star Trek, and so really I'm a space geek. So like I'm totally excited about this potential of a big interstellar ship coming into our atmosphere, like it's like Star Trek meets Earth, right? And then they are liaising with me and bringing in transmissions. So I was just letting Rob know that some of it's mainstream now. I went to kitty food 2 nights ago and I walked into my pet store and it had hit one of the stories that hit a bunch of the young people working there, and they were all talking about this alien ship that's coming towards Earth. And I let them know, I've been doing podcasts about it, and they were blown away. So it's hitting all these different levels now, and I confirm with them it's not anything to fear, and I'm super interested in the platforms that are spinning it that way. Like I'm almost wondering if they're trying to take advantage of the Project Bluebeam scenario to make everybody on Earth be in fear.
So you think it's a benevolent thing? You think it's a positive thing?
So far, and we'll look more at the cards. Like every time you and I have looked at it, it's been in the cards. They are the transmission so far that I've been getting from them is they're specifically trying to they're bringing in like this third plasma energy, which is source energy, which we talked a little bit. I've learned more about plasma since our last show, and it's the energy that keeps the whole universe, planets, galaxies together. It's what comes from the sun. And I was remembering that we're becoming more plasma. We actually have blood plasma, which that's what I was remembering from biology. But we're receiving when we talk about light codes that are coming from the sun and activating our DNA, they're actually plasma light codes. Yeah. So the mission so far that they've been sharing, and I try to check in with them daily, and they bring me like another piece for us, like another puzzle piece. So what they're trying to do, what their mission is on behalf of Prime Source at the moment, is to override what the other teams have been doing, which is blocking the sun. Yeah. Taking away our water resources, fiddling with the weather. So they're on this. That's part of their mission. There's many different aspects on the ship. Like there's representation of every single probably energy race in the universe and galaxy. And the interstellar part that we talked about last time is it's not from here. Interstellar means not from our galaxy. And this is crazy. The movie Interstellar was on the weekend. I'd never seen it before. So I watched it.
Is it good?
It was interesting. Yeah, I felt like they set that up. I felt like they set it up so I could watch it and be home and watch it. And it's a long movie, and it is about an interstellar object, but what it's about is Earth is falling apart. Doesn't that sound familiar? Resources are falling apart. There's no water. Their crops are dying. So Matthew McConaughey was a ex-NASA astronaut. And all of the astronaut stuff got canceled because there was no money and people were just like in survival mode. And he was recruited with this back group of NASA astronauts to go through a Stargate, a portal to go to another universe, a galaxy, and try to find another planet for people to inhabit.
Yeah. I think they do that stuff to where they, that's one thing I noticed when I was on the road. There's a lot of land out there for people to live on. You know what I mean?
Yes, right.
There's a lot of empty space. I'm talking like cornfields. I mean, just so much open, vast space that in the Midwest, it's from Ohio to Iowa. There's so much open space. So the fact that they try to say that they want to cram us in all these cities and stuff is absolute bullshit. Because when you see it for yourself, you're like, oh my God, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's many places.
And that family was somewhere like Iowa because it started off with cornfields. And I just finished watching Field of Dreams as well. And I thought that's super interesting that's where they that's where they placed the story of the families. And at that point, corn was the only crop that was growing. Everything else was dying off. So that was super interesting.
Wow.
Corn is probably a portal. It's probably a portal. But anyway, yeah. So I was thinking what we could do is we could look at, they definitely have confirmed it's interstellar. That's a lot of the posts now. I chat with them. They bring me transmissions and I let them know about some of the images, and they sort of let me know which images were sort of 70, 80% accurate, and some of the images they're releasing so that the regular public isn't in fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. That's huge. It's huge, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So their energy field is a very high level, powerful plasma. So they're able to sort of bypass what's being blocked from our sun. So the whole idea of the plasma upgrades from the sun, I've known about that since 2011 or 12, was to help us like awaken, ascend, and there's a lot. I mean, I've noticed even locally how many people are awake now.
Oh yeah.
Like it's huge.
Yeah, it's more and more people by the day. I agree.
I agree. Yeah. And did you know, like, how did you feel on the bus? How did you feel with everybody that you were talking with on the bus? Besides the sad thing that happened.
I didn't really talk to anybody. I just kind of kept to myself. You know what I mean? I heard other people talking though. From what I was able to pick up, a lot of like Christian zealots on the bus. You know what I mean? Like people who believe like in hardcore Christianity, and like, they try to tie it into like hidden history, and it just doesn't make any sense. I was like, I wanted to like, interrupt so many times. I was like, but I was just like, I'm just going to let this go. You know what I mean? Like, I just listened, but it was interesting for sure.
Yeah. And it's also like, you messaged me when you were just leaving Chicago, and I just did last 2 weeks since I saw you, I did a big healing grid work for my lineage. And part of my lineage is through the States. My dad's lineage, half of his lineage were living in Chicago. And my mom's lineage was in California. So, and they both, before they knew each other, they both had arrived in Winnipeg, Canada. That's where the relatives arrived. So I did this whole big thing. So the fact that you messaged me from Chicago, I thought, oh, you're doing grid work. Buddy, you don't even know that you're doing grid work, but you're going, like, you're out with the people, you're in the bus, and that's us being hardcore. We're just amplifying the light and the truth, whether we're doing it consciously or not. So
I had a 4-hour layover in Chicago. I was there for about. It was nice. It was interesting for sure. Big city. Good. It's double the size of Pittsburgh, I'd say for sure.
Did the bus go through? Were you able to see much of Chicago?
I wasn't able to see a lot of it because I was talking to Coley, and I was telling her, I was like, there's not a lot around the bus. Like, you kind of have to walk far into Chicago to like see, some stuff.
Okay.
She told me, from what she said, I missed a lot of the really good stuff. So I want to go back there. I definitely do want to go back there. Like, that's on my bucket list because it looks like an amazing city. I told her, I said, we got to go there. It looks like a really cool place,
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, you were very brave to be on the bus. I was sharing everyone. When I talk about when I lived in the Men in Black area in Vancouver, it's the big area where everything's going on, lots of homeless, and I saw people overdosing almost every day, and that was pretty traumatic because I'm from the burbs. I never really, you see it in the movies, but you never really see it unless you go into cities, and so it was pretty shocking. But I became very, very powerful there because one of my missions while I was there was to grid the city, but also to go and talk to some of the homeless and check in with them. And you know what? Totally awake. And I was there from 2017 to 18. A bunch of them knew I was a starseed. Like, they were like, "Oh my God, you're a starseed!" Like, so they're totally awake. Many of them are, have been, they've been pushed into that area, or they've been pushed into the homeless areas. But a lot of them are very much like they didn't want to be part of the matrix. And that's kind of how they end up in these areas.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, a lot of people do that, and a lot of people are living in their vans now too. And
yes, absolutely. Yeah. So one of my big things that I want to do at some point is to help people have homes, because everyone should have a home, some type of home. So I love like the tiny home idea, but in a lot of areas, and in my area, they've blocked it. They've blocked it, people from putting tiny homes up. Right. And that's a really affordable option for many people to have like a roof over their head and have a nice little home. So then I was thinking about the RVs, like the little RV vans where people can be portable. So that would be something that I'd like to raise money for and then be able to donate them to certain individuals.
That would be cool. I think that's a good idea. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just like, I think we all agree, like we all want, everyone wishes some type of home. Like everyone has some kind of dream about maybe where you would like to live, or maybe where you would like to, your vision of having roots somewhere. And that's one of the things that the Matrix has been blocking.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they want to push everybody into the cities, right?
Yeah, and then they want to make those 15-minute cities, Like,
that's right. Like as if we don't know what that's all about. For sure. Anyway, so I feel like that's a piece with 3i Atlas. So I'm just trying to think of an analogy. They're trying to bypass. So think about even Star Trek with a laser. They're trying to bypass what's been going on. Because I feel like even the good teams, I know you have Carrie on later, and I know she talks about this, like even the white hats and the good teams or whatever. I agree with her. I feel like they're dragging it out.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think they're doing? What do you think their plan is?
Well, you'd have to look at the cards. I don't really even know anymore. I'm not even it's almost October. So I feel like 3i Atlas and everything that's going on in space is more important, or the UFO disclosure, that's more important, because I feel like the movie out there is going to continue whether we look at it or not. I feel like a lot got done in January and February, and now it's just like this drawn out movie of like every day there's a drama that tries to divide and conquer everybody. Right. And I see a lot of it in your country, and it impacts Canada too, because Canadians watch mainly American television. So they're brainwashed. Right. So I just look at the headlines and I look at the drama and I'm like, no, I don't even want to look at that. I don't want to look at that anymore, because I want to see some positive information come forward for all of us. So I feel like part of the 3i Atlas energy is to bypass them pushing everything aside. And all the red tape. Yeah.
So do you think like 3i Atlas will send like an energy onto the planet that will like?
Yeah, they already are. It's already being detected.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
So they called it a third energy a couple of weeks ago. So it's not just ascension symptoms. It's not just from the sun. It's not just connected to Schumann. We've got this extra level of plasma that they're emanating. And that's, so they just give me little pieces, but they're upgrading the grids. They're trying to help with the water resources. They're trying to bring balance back to humanity so that more people can wake up and make conscious decisions. Because, I don't know how everybody was through the eclipse season, which was like 2 weeks. That was crazy. The last 2 weeks have been crazy. So I'm so glad it's over.
Is it over? Is it so? Will we see a shift in people's energy and in people's like,
I think a lot of things. I think a lot of things have collapsed in people's lives. Like I got messages from family members about people, like a lot of people splitting up, a lot of people like changing jobs or leaving their jobs, that kind of thing. So there were like big endings for a lot of people. I just hunkered down and was quiet and didn't want to engage with anybody who I knew would bring drama to me. So for 2 weeks, anytime I saw drama, I just bypassed it and said, I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Yeah. No, it's over. It's over now. No more eclipses for the rest of the year. We're done.
Yeah. Even Kat in the chat says, the last 2 weeks have been nuts,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's been a wild ride. Yeah. So what do you want to look at first? What should we pull cards about?
Let's look at 3i Atlas and see what it says.
Okay.
I think that sounds good.
Yeah. I just got my God bumps. That's what they want to. Like when I did research, oh my God, I just looked at it. They did want me to talk about the plasmas and kind of what they're doing. They're saying it's like an energy bridge. So let's just ask what they want to bring in for all of us today. So the Galactic Akashic Records are open, everyone. I asked that to be open with Prime Source before the session. Let's see what they want to bring in. So we have the Chariot. Yeah, I just got my God bumps about that. I think that's how we ended our show last time. And then we have the Empress, another powerful major arcana, and 7 of Swords. Okay. So right away, yeah, they're letting us know they're accelerating. They're accelerating fast, super speed to get here. Like there's discretion about when they're actually going to be in our galaxy. They're going to be near Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn. But they're on an accelerated to get here by at least the middle or the third week of October. Much of the plasma energy is connected to that divine feminine coding that got ejected off the planet. So that's bringing the balance. Like we can't see it, we don't know, but I don't know if you saw too, everyone. It just changed to emerald green. It just changed colors.
Wow.
And emerald green is the heart chakra. And so I equate divine feminine energy with intuition, with our superpowers, with being in our heart. And that's obviously what they don't want. The other side doesn't want, the Dark Alliance, right? So that's part of this plasma energy that they're bringing in, is to rebalance all of us. They also shared with me that look at everything's yellow, and I almost wore yellow today. That's our solar plexus. That's us bringing our power back to us. They're bypassing even the groups that say that they're helping us here and around the planet, that have been doing the weather stuff and blocking the sun.
Karen wants to know, what's the real name of Three Eye Atlas? Do we know? Or she says, or what do you think?
Yeah, we talked about it last time. They made sure that I have a story about that. They made sure that they were seen by the Atlas Observatory because they wanted to be called Atlas. So for our purposes, that's what they're called. So I'm still saying Three Eye Atlas because that's what everybody knows, but really they just want to be called Atlas. And that I have a super interesting story about that too. So that's why they made sure that they were found by the Atlas Observatory, which I believe is in South America somewhere. I'm not too sure where that is. And it was sort of brought on the map by like the first week in July. They're also letting me know, everyone, the Seven of Swords. So this is us like still trying to recoup from that crazy eclipse season, which just ended on the 21st. Oh, I couldn't wait for it to be over. So the Seven of Swords is like, we're not to look back. Like whatever's fallen out of our life, let it go, surrender it. Like people, places, things will come back. And the whole reason the last 2 weeks were intense is due to they needed to get us all shiny and bright and ready for, like, the energy is going to start increasing every single day to raise our vibration and bring in more clarity for everyone. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So my story about Atlas. This is hilarious. So before I watched Interstellar, I think I just put on Big Bang Theory, which, by the way, I love that show, and that's why I realized oh my God, I'm a space geek. I'm a geek like all of these. So Sheldon was talking to Leonard, and behind him was a poster that said Atlas Physics.
Wow.
You can't make this stuff.
I know, right?
Because that show's off the air. So everyone start paying attention to where you see the word Atlas. You're going to see it on license plates. I had a client that she's got working right beside her, all these trucks, and the name of the company is Atlas.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Like I'm gonna look at what it's like. It has to mean something, It's like,
well, I get so excited. Like it's a code word. So they shared with me, it's just like when I started talking about starseeds, or we all say these words and it sort of activates us. So I remember as a kid being so excited in school when the teacher would say, everybody get out your atlases. Like that's what was the memory that I had. I was like, oh my God, like even back then they absolutely knew that they wanted to be called Atlas. So that's what I wanted to share with everybody. I thought that was cool.
Well, yeah, because like Atlas is like the whole globe, right?
Yeah.
And Atlas is like the whole, it's like,
yeah. So it would have been all these different pages where you could actually look at the globe, from different perspectives, and it's like Google Earth, right? It was our Google Earth, where you could zone in, zone in on different countries and everything. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. One thing I wanted to get, this wasn't on our topics, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. Like, I don't know if you saw in the collective, there was a lot of talk of like the rapture. Did you see this? And like,
no.
Did you see this like on social media? Like a lot of people, I think mostly Christian, were talking about that it was like the rapture. I'm trying to look it up and see if I can find anything.
Is it connected to Three Eye Atlas, or they just think that we're in the end times?
I think that people think we're in the end times, and it makes me wonder why do they think that? What's causing that?
Well, I'm not okay. So I this is another thing from childhood. My parents were very open about letting all of us find our own way. So they didn't imprint us with you have to believe this and do this, okay? But my mom would take me to various different Sunday schools thinking that I would meet new friends and that she wanted to make sure she was covering all aspects. And every single time she brought me to one, I would come back and I would I can't go back there because whatever they're trying to share is not true. And my mom would be looking at me going, who are you? Like, you're like 5. So anyway, what I do remember, because the rapture is talked about in various, the Bible and religious texts. So I feel like we can look at it. I feel like, I think like how you experience the bus, Rob. I think the regular folks are looking at the real world right now and wondering what is going on because it's just gotten so crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like you go into a city and you're shocked with everything, how much everything's changed and how it's really been fallen apart and degraded. So I think we can look at it, but I feel like in all of the religious texts, some form of that is like the ending of the religious texts and they never went beyond that. Kind of like the Mayans saying that the world was going to end in 2012 because they didn't go beyond, their calendar didn't go beyond that date.
Yeah. I agree.
So,
it was. They said that was going to be like a new form of like humanity, like the humanity will evolve.
So why don't we just ask, like, what do we need to know about like the rapture and end times, and what information we can get about that?
That sounds good. Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay, so we have the moon. Interesting. The moon. Oh, we have the 10 of Wands. Yeah, my liaison, my higher self, she's transmitting through the Galactic Records for me. And the 10 of Cups, so we have 2 10s. Wow. Okay, we can do some clarities too. So right off the bat, like with the moon, well, Rob and I are probably going to do another show just about the moon because the moon is just a crazy little piece of equipment. Anyway, I always equate it to like the Death Star. So I really felt through this last eclipse season, because the first one was the blood lunar eclipse, and then all the craziness hit the fan, because the Dark Alliance is still using that moon energy for their Dark Alliance agendas. So they're letting me know that really the end times is the end of all the craziness. The end times is about like the ending of one timeline and moving into a new timeline. So I didn't really even talk about the lunar eclipse very much, I talked about the eclipse period, but I just got this really weird, and we talked about that because the blood lunar eclipse came in right after our last show. Like I just got this really weird feeling about the blood lunar eclipse, and I didn't even want to put any energy into it. Now it's interesting that we have 2 10s because that represents the 10-10 gateway in October. Every time we've looked at anything the last few weeks, October seems to be our turning point.
Yeah.
So, okay. So this generally means burnout and fatigue and fed up with the whole 3D matrix reality, and to keep pushing forward. Like we all get fatigued, right? I get fatigued too. So do you, because it doesn't matter if we're on mission. We're still every day. We're still super busy. And then we have the 10 of Cups, which is a celebration for humanity. So we're not to buy into its end times. It's the end of a old timeline, and it's the beginning of a new, better timeline. But we have to put our energy into that. We have to think positively about that as well. So I don't see any doom and gloom cards except for this that we just came out of that. I feel like so everybody through the eclipse season chose our timeline, and if you didn't, you can still choose it. Yes, you can quantum jump into a new timeline, and you can still choose a better timeline. So let me just ask clarity about the moon. We got the King of Cups, so that's like King of Cups is connected to the old timeline, the old shift, and then we have the 9 of Cups, which is a wish, which is activating our new timeline. So you all can still activate your new timeline. What is that? It is what you wish for. Like I keep getting, don't focus too much on what's going on in 3D because that's the crazy movie. That's the tricky movie that wants to separate and divide us from within and everyone. It wants us to choose sides. It wants us to not, not be in our humanity. So that's why I have sort of pulled away from a lot of the mainstream information right now because you can't even talk to anybody about a lot of things. It sets everybody off, puts everyone into to a divide point. So really, we're just to keep being positive, setting our intentions, our decrees, thinking positively. It has not been easy. I feel like it's getting a little easier now every single day. Now the eclipse season finished on the 21st. So that was a reset and a reboot for humanity. And the 10 of Cups is about celebration and about new beginnings.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, like focus on the good things. Like even with friends and family, even if they're not conscious, even if they're not awake even yet, or even if they don't believe in UFOs or whatever, find that common ground and just talk about light stuff. Like, right? Just bring that lightness and that joy back into just talking about everyday stuff. It's like Rob, it's like you over listening to everyone on the bus, knowing that if you interjected and if you said anything, it would have caused a divide. So you were just being given a little, like, that's why I love always going out into the city or going on trains or meeting people, because I like to overhear where the collective's at and what people are believing, for sure.
It's a good way to gauge what's going on. You know, it really is.
Yeah. Because that's the movie. That's what we all left. Right? We're all trying our best to be positive, but I can really see there's a real agenda, especially in your country right now, and it's impacting Canada. Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Choose sides. Yeah, choose sides, and don't love your fellow human being. And and the thing is that when you really just start talking to everybody every day and just say hi and bring in joy, they're human. You know, everyone's just trying to find their way. We didn't get a manual, but I'll be working on one soon.
And that's a good point. Yeah, I think that was really well said. I agree with everything you said. You know, they do try to divide us. You know, that seems like to be their MO. You know, that's how a few people control the masses. You know, to be honest,
absolutely, they do it through. So I have a little report about that. They do that through obviously still through TV, radio, commercials, through the media. But what I noticed recently is they've also been doing it through the weather reports. They've been falsely reporting the weather, and that's like a little spell too, where it's controlling the masses to believe the weather reports, and then we create it.
Yeah, like it's like forced manifestation. You're saying.
Yeah. So they can't stop what's unfolding, but they're doing their best to stop it. Still.
Well, I wonder how much of our reality is forced manipulation through psychological programming. You know, through whether it be through.
I'm hearing at least 90%.
Yeah, that would make sense, right?
Yeah. So that's why I love this community. I love all of our communities, because we're like, no, we want more information. We don't want the mainstream information. And I don't mind going, like, I love my 80s music, and I love watching, Star Trek, and I love watching shows because it's just light and it's fun, and I can kind of, in a way, I can kind of see it. It's like a little documentary about Earth. So we're just getting like little snippets, little ideas of everything. And then if we dive in, like, let's say some of you are all working in 3D, you're going to be in that kind of weird energy all day where you're like, do I say anything? Do I not say anything? That kind of thing. And many of you, like, I was in 3D for a long time. So was Rob. I was anchoring in for a global bank. I was anchoring in light when I didn't even understand it for 10 years. And I also was learning about the global banking system, because really I had no idea. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, and then you learn real quick, because they can be like soul sucking job. I was a mortgage broker for 10 years, and it was a really soul sucking job.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked. I would be in meetings, but because I was quite high up at the end, and I was a liaison for all these global projects, and I would be in meetings, and they would be actually telling us what they were really doing. And then they would tell us what they were telling the customers what they were doing. And I was mind blown, because I was going, oh no, that's illegal. What are they doing? What are they doing? And that was a long time ago. So now I understand, it was education for me. It was just for me to be placed behind the scenes to understand how crazy everything was set up from the beginning. It wasn't set up for us to succeed at all. And even the people that online say they're really successful, I see them all working really hard.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, if you're that successful, you don't need to be working that hard. You should be on a beach or a boat somewhere,
That's a really good point. Because in a way, you're switching out one matrix reality for another. In a certain sense.
And Rob works hard, and I work hard, and we all work hard. Like Rob, even when we move into our mission, we're still bringing a lot of energy every day, for sure.
I agree, 100%. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm trying to think. Somebody asked. Let me see if there's a question in the audience. No. Let me see here. Well, Jason, who was the secret handshake? I'm not sure what he meant by that.
Maybe he can elaborate. I don't know. Just while you're looking for a question, Rob, they're just mentioning to me that about the water, about how, I think I talked a little bit about this last time, the water, how important our water is. Like, if we all have access to water, to continue to bless it and be grateful for it, because that water equates to our abundance. And it's something in the back end that the other side, the Dark Alliance, has been manipulating for years. So they've created toxins in the water. They've placed fear in many of us about drinking regular water. They've redirected what I was just showing the last couple of weeks is they've redirected a lot of the water resources elsewhere. And then the mainstream media has been, there's no water. Like, you have to ration your water. You can't water your lawn. You can't water your vegetables that you're trying to grow, or the rain is toxic, like all these different spins on it. And I'm just going to start like my first water grid work tomorrow and this is the first time. This will be my last grid work of this year, like a big one. And we're going to be working on rectifying a bunch of water systems in the Atlantic, across Canada and the US and the Pacific, to help bring it back. Well, yeah, and I'm so excited. Apparently, I'm a water guardian. That's what they let me know. That's why I'm so passionate about water, because what happened was the last 3 months, there's hardly been any water in Vancouver. Where I'm in a rainforest, there's been like one sprinkling of rain the last 3 months. So they've been training me to override the systems that have been blocking our natural water systems. Like, I would watch the clouds coming in, Rob, and I would set intentions for it to rain. And then 5 minutes later, all the clouds would be pushed out and there would be like sun. We've had nonstop sun for 3 months. And so that sounds great, right? Like, it sounds like, oh, we had a great summer or whatever. But the thing is that all the water systems are drying up.
Yeah. I wonder, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. So when I ask questions, I'm getting some pressure on the back of my head. So the Dark Alliance doesn't want me to talk about it. It doesn't matter. When I ask questions, I get the answers. So that's when I found out they had placed over some areas. Like, so my area is connected to the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon. They placed some kind of an energetic dome over these areas to push the clouds out, because we naturally get rain and water from Hawaii and from the systems. So can we override what they're doing? Yeah, we absolutely can. So that's the great news. So I've already brought rain in once. I brought rain in on Sunday. I had to work at that for like 2 weeks, and rain is coming tonight. So you miss the rain when you don't have it. Yeah. Because rain cleans the energy. It brings water to all the animals, the wildlife, the forests, the lakes, the rivers, and it brings us water that we all need. So if they're manipulating that what they're trying to, I feel like that's part of, we can look at it. I feel like that's part of like, there's no water. You're going to have to move into the 15-minute cities. No, yeah.
Where we'll provide for you. Or they'll use that other spin of like, oh, look, it's the environment. It's the greenhouse effect that there's no water, like all these different stories. So if anybody in the chat has been listening to mainstream about that, let us know.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good
So
point.
why don't you look for a question, Robin? I'll just pull some cards about like what do we need to know about our water resources today.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions you want to ask Pink Bella for the Galactic Akashic Records, put them in the chat now, and we'll get to your chat. And the chat's a little bit behind, so I'm checking it on my phone and I'm checking it on the screen because on my phone it's easier for me to go back a little bit. But then on the screen I can see the new comments that are coming up.
Yeah. Okay, so right away I got the Judgment card, and there's water. There's individuals on, and there's water in the background. So this is going to be a big wake-up call for this community, but for everyone, for the humanity. Like when the actual truth comes out about our abundance has been connected to the water resources and about how they've been saying that there is no water. Yeah, that's huge. Then we have the Nine of Cups, which is the endings, new beginnings, setting intentions. So even myself, like just since our last show, I've really been focused on being grateful for all the water access that I have for me and my cat. I've been going to my little creek and being grateful for that, and that has helped. So even like paying it forward, everyone, if you're near a river, a creek, an ocean, you have access to water. That is something that has been hidden from us. That is one of our main. We talked about this last time. We're like what, 80% water, 90% water. Yeah. So if we don't have it, we don't survive as a species. So just a little thing about being grateful for water that you have will really help to gain momentum. Then we have the Three of Wands. I'm going to ask for clarity about that. Just hold on about the Three of Wands. Oh, I have the Three of Pentacles. This is one of my Three Atlas cards. So they're just letting me know that they are one of the energies that's trying to restabilize the grids to bring the water resources back to areas that have been said that there's no water. It impacts if we think about it, it impacts the whole ecosystem. So it impacts the bees. It impacts the birds. And it changes everything, right? Like all summer, I've hardly had any birds around because there's been no water. So they're saying that that's one of their missions right now. That's something that the plasma energy is doing, is to help refacilitate and focus on be grateful for the water you have, because a lot of people just around the planet don't have access to water. And then the Justice card, which is Libra energy, which is what we're in right now. The sun just moved into Libra, and justice back to the people, rebalancing and bringing the resources back to the people is the overall message. Yeah.
I love that. People in the chat are asking about the Trump Epstein statue. I didn't know there was one. Is that
neither? So maybe somebody can post like another little snippet about it for Rob and I can look at it. I didn't know. Just what you asked about, Rob, that's what I removed. I've removed myself for the last couple of months because every day there's something.
Yeah.
I can't keep up. I can't keep up. And I haven't even been on TikTok very much because there's this whole story that TikTok was going away. So that used to be where I used to do a lot of research. So where is the statue, everyone? And what do you want us to look up?
Let me see here. Let me see if I can find anything on it real quick. Let me see. And I wonder how this just popped up all of a sudden.
So Selena said there's a link above to the statue. So do you have access to your mic? Can you just ask Mike?
I can't click on the links in the chat. They won't let me. It won't let me.
Can you go into your void with Mike and ask Mike?
Yeah, let me see what it says. Let's see here.
Matthew, about Atlas. In a way, Matthew, but in a way it's I think both sides are just like sort of taking it to the next level, but I see the other side, like any group that's kind of spinning it as it's this alien ship that's going to come and hurt. Like the post yesterday was, in 62 days there's going to be an alien ship that's going to come and get us, kind of thing, right? So doesn't that sound like all the movies? Like even Independence Day, where they're like, the big ships coming to whatever. So far it's benevolent, but so many people don't even know about it. So many people in the spiritual community don't even know about it. I had a client email me and say, "What is that? What's the Atlas? What is 3i Atlas?" So yeah, they have their own mission. They're coming anyway. They're going to do whatever they want. There's going to always be people that are going to hype it as well, but it's just they just said it's one of my missions to bring in messages, and that's so cool.
I got something. It says a short version, an anonymous satirical bronze-colored statue of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein titled "Best Friends Forever" was installed on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. this week, drew immediate attention, and was removed by Park Police after permit non-compliance issues. It says the 12-foot statue showed Trump and Epstein holding hands, a playful pose, included a plaque mocking long-lasting bond. It was placed anonymously, been briefly remained in the east end of the National Mall. U.S. Park Police National Park Service removed it early after finding permit terms were not met. The stunt reignited public debate about Trump's past social ties to Epstein and prompted predictable political pushback, as well as free speech versus art discussions. And then, my AI is saying I can pull together a timeline of media reactions. I can make a short. I don't know. It's interesting for sure to say the least. But it's funny. Like I find it hilarious that the people that the Democrat. I mean, I lean more conservative. I have more conservative values, and I find it funny that the Democrats are trying to push for release of the Epstein files when this is a party that is it's derogatory in every way. They want to push for mutilation of children, all kinds of deep shit. You know what I mean?
Well, I heard it like it's a chess game. So I heard that the conservative side actually started planting information that they weren't going to release it. So the other team was like, well, no, now we want it released. So, but I love that. That's why I wanted you to look up. So an unknown source installed it. So it wasn't actually any, nobody really knows who installed it. And then it was removed. So that's interesting. So to me, it sounds like it was something that was installed to create all this chaos. I'm hearing chaos to again go, well, they were best buddies, right? So why don't we just ask for some information about that statue? It's been removed now as well. So that's super interesting to me that somebody would have installed. I mean, we know that nobody official under President Trump would have installed it. So there's no one on his team that would have done it. So it's a chess move to get everybody again to divide, right? So that there's been all these big things to divide everybody, right? There's been the assassination of Charlie. There's been this whole big thing with Disney and what's his name, the night show tacos guy, right? There's just all yes, yeah. So there's all this crazy stuff. And it's like I said before, guys, it's not just dividing your country, it's dividing Canada and the world. That's how crazy it is. It's the things that they're planting is this ripple effect. And what I did with the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing is anybody that put anything like that in my feed, I unfollowed.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I don't even want to see it. He's not important. He's not part of the big picture. Is he helping humanity or just causing a problem? It's causing a problem. And it's causing a distraction. Big distraction. And apparently a lot of individuals left Disney. They unsubscribed from Disney over this whole thing. So, and then I was wondering, is that the end of Disney?
It could be,
yeah. Could be. Yeah. So why don't we just ask, what do we need to know about the statue? Oh, so this is our card today, 9 of Cups.
Yeah, it seems like it's coming up a lot.
Yeah. 7 of Wands.
Wow.
No big major arcana so far. So, the Tower. I spoke too soon. Okay, so it was 9 of Cups. It was a wish of the individuals to install it, to create this, to create the big divide, to create people to go, oh no, it's true, right? Just from a statue. So apparently it probably hit mainstream media, the statue, I'm thinking, I don't know. So they wanted to bring attention to it, and they wanted to sort of, again, an attempt to back to the other team, degrade President Trump, degrade what they're doing, and refocus everyone on the non-important issues. Because it's what you just shared. It's the Democrats actually want the list released now.
Yeah.
So it was a general attack to try and get things moving to remove Trump from office, basically. Yeah. So
that's their power play, because they don't really care about I don't think these people care about human rights and and freedom and stuff like that. They care about power plays and politics.
Yeah, it's the chess game. It's a political chess game.
More money. and they can control more. You know what I mean? That's all this is. You know what I mean? And it's so sick that people are like that, but that's exactly what it is, you know?
Yeah, like people have the time and energy to create a statue and it just stop. And they probably had reporters there like to spread the message as well. So they, you know, it was all a big, so Seven of Swords came up again as well. So it was to help everybody refocus on the past and not pay attention to like what else went on that day or through this whole process. Like what else went on that they were distracting everybody. And then we had the Page of Swords. So it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. It just brought up a lot. It got everyone to look backwards. Like, oh yeah, where's that list? You know, I've even moved on from that because I'm thinking all of us really, we've seen the list. Right? We've seen people post lists for years. We all know that. And eventually, hopefully something will be released, but we're just supposed to like spend each day enjoying our life, like, you know, and not worrying too much about it. It will be released when it's released. I hear you all. Me too. We want justice. You know, we want the truth. We want justice. We want the truth. We want to know what really happened. And so far that hasn't come forward.
Yeah.
That's what Joyful Jennifer says. It's just news next. Absolutely.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the politics is the movie. It's theater. Yeah. I feel like that's why they created it to begin with. I feel like it really initially was like a theater, like a show, and they've taken advantage of it. So
wow.
Yes, Joyful Jennifer and in big bold letters, distraction, people move on. That's right. So I didn't even know about it all until this show. And even our last show, you know, I know a lot more about Charlie Kirk now than I did when you and I did the show 2 weeks ago because it had just happened and you had to look it up too. And I wasn't sure about it. I was guided not to look at it, like not to deep dive about it because it's causing such a divide with people. And it's global, everyone. The divide is global. Like I've got clients and contacts from all over the world, and I saw a lot of people jump on the bandwagon that never usually say anything. So yeah, it's pretty shocking.
Yeah, I agree. You know, that's why I know that I am having a Carrie Cassidy on next at 6 p.m. and I decided to do it on Rumble because I think that the way she's going to talk about it, I don't think I can put that on YouTube.
Probably not. Yeah, you're doing the wise thing for sure. Yeah, that's
so
definitely.
We're also going to stream it on Coley's X too. So we'll be on X and we'll be on Facebook and we'll be on Rumble. You know, so people can watch a bunch of different places. You know, it's great teaming up with her and like having her X because like you know like right now we got like we have like 140 people watching. You know, total. You know, between my YouTube and that's not even counting Rumble. There, you know, there's always like 20, 30 people watching on Rumble. So. You know,
thank you, Coley. That's awesome. Yeah, because that's what we want to do. We want to kind of bypass the mainstream. So you and I both know, like YouTube, G-rated, family-friendly shows. And I saw your post about TikTok, and I thought, well, I was told that TikTok is kind of unstable right now, anyway. That they can just remove people, that they're not even sure if TikTok's going to be around in a couple of months, that specifically there's going to be an app created for all of you in the US. And I feel Canada will follow because we're so closely aligned. So I just kind of pop over there once in a while, but I kind of just thought if it's unstable, if they're going to remove it, I'm not going to focus too much on it.
Do you know who Lauren Pritchard is? She watches my show. She's been on my show and she has her own channel. She's quite controversial, but she has some good stuff to say. She got taken down around the same time as me. We both got taken down off TikTok. Like, you know, she got taken down the day that Charlie got, you know, taken out. And then
I got my God bumps. That's why you guys were removed.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know a whole bunch of people, like when I first started, like maybe 8 months ago, when I went back to TikTok and I was there, I saw so many people getting removed. And it was always the truthers. And there's never a warning. They just take someone's channel and content down. I actually saw one fellow that I follow on Instagram, and he was on his 6th channel or something. So definitely don't take it personal because TikTok is not this stable platform that everybody thought that it was. And what's so fascinating to me is the people that are getting taken down on TikTok, their content will remain up on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good, right? Because like
Yeah.
but they're not so visibly, they're not censoring now, right? I mean,
Yeah. So
and
I think that's the thing. We have to kind of go with the times, and so not take it personally. I mean, I'm on TikTok, but I'm not paying attention to it because so many people are being removed. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So,
Substack's where it's at. Same with X, same with Rumble.
I
Yeah. And
agree.
how are you? And Rob, what about your other platforms, your podcast ones? How's Podbean working out for you?
It's moving really slow. It's moving
Yeah.
really slow. It's like real slow. But I mean, it's we'll see. We'll see. It's
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it starts growing. I mean, what I don't understand is it's the same RSS feed. It's the same RSS
Yes.
feed that I had on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I just switched podcast providers, so the views or the listens should be the same. But they're not. It's like really low. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
Interesting.
it's really I don't understand.
I know it's interesting. I think that's the only way we kind of know who's behind a platform is the slowness. So
Yeah.
I'm slowly now, my numbers on YouTube are slowly rebuilding again, which is good. So yeah, if you're new to me, if you want to follow me on YouTube and Rumble and all my podcasts, please do, because that just helps me and Rob, and it helps bring my numbers up as well and awareness up as well. But everything's just slowly now starting to rebuild.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else we want to cover today before we finish up, or
Do we want to look at what if the sun is a Stargate?
that would be cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that was I can't remember who brought this up last time. So I think I wanted to look at, and then if any other questions come up, for sure, I wanted to just look at, we've been lied to about everything. So is the sun an actual multidimensional Stargate? Because people have images of ships coming through the sun. Good ships, as well as the black Borg-like cubes. So yeah, so I'm getting my goblins for that. So that's my first question. If anybody else wants to ask something about the sun as well, let's see: is the sun an actual multidimensional Stargate that we weren't told the truth about? Oh, that's interesting. We have the Nine of Swords. Oh, and I'm getting nausea around that, which is usually like my archonic message. King of Cups. Oh wow. Wheel of Fortune, and then the other card that came out after that is the Death card. Okay, let me just do clarity about the anxiety. The Nine of Swords, Seven of Wands. Okay, and the Sun's at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so let me just tap in and see what they want to share out of that. At the moment, they're feeling like we're coming out of this, that the masses would, if they knew, because it goes along with disclosure. Goes along with we're not alone in the universe, right? So we're coming out of the timeline of the masses being in stress and anxiety about the real truth. So the Seven of Wands is like slowly some of the truth is coming out to all of us and is slowly going to be exposed. I want to do clarity card around the King of Cups because this can be a couple of things, and let me just ask because that's where we're at right now. King of Cups and Six of Cups. Six of Cups is about nostalgia and childhood. So okay, so this is another announcement I made on Rumble a couple of weeks ago. I was even a few months ago, I was working with groups called like the Galactic Alliance and the Earth Alliance. There's some shady characters on those alliances that were spoon feeding me, and I think I started asking questions after your last Carrie Cassidy interview. Like I thought, yeah, I'm getting my gob up. So they're slow. They've been slow, spoon feeding us. Even all of us who've been working with various councils, just telling us like little bits and pieces because they want us to hang on to nostalgia. They don't actually want us all to have the truth out. That would equate to the Epstein files. Like if everything actually got released, we could move on from that. We could just end that timeline and move into the future. But so there's still being. Yeah, they don't want us to even look at that, but times are going to be changing. That's destiny. Now, I want clarity around the Death card because that also could just represent Scorpio energy, which is the end of October and beginning in November. So let me just, wow, got 3 major arcana. We have the Hanged Man, which is like an uncomfortable. Oh, okay. and the 10 of cups. So overall, the output right now is that humanity would not be able to fathom that we have ships coming in. We all can. Oh, I think that's cool, right? And we already have proof that that's going on. But regular humanity, at the moment, I'm getting this pain in my high heart that it would put them all into the stress and anxiety and worry that we've got all these alien ships in our atmosphere using the sun. But that's going to come to an end. And then what's interesting is then the sun's at the bottom of the deck. So it is going to come to an end. But right now the gauge is that it would create too much panic for the regular collective. And I think you can understand that, Rob, because you're on a bus with the regular people.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of regular people out there that are thinking a lot of irregular people are thinking the tower. They're thinking it's the end times. And they've been programmed by all the movies when the aliens show up that bad things happen to all of us. When they're already here, they've already been coming in and out of the sun, and there's a big battle around that too, right? There's a big battle around who has access to the sun. I was in shock even a couple of weeks ago at how many Dark Alliance ships are still here. And I think Carrie's talked to you about that before. I think she sort of said that there's a lot of Dark Alliance ships here.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are thinking that they're still here. They haven't left.
Yeah. So my nausea is their energy. Sometimes I get this real pressure around my crown chakra and the back of my head, and that's because their ships are in the area. So I've gotten over the fear. They're not scanning for me. So everyone, they're not really always scanning individually for us unless we have a contract with them, unless we haven't cleared our seals and our tags connected to like that they can keep track of us. But they're still here. Yeah. And I was kind of, so that was the information I wasn't getting from the Galactic and the Earth Alliance. They weren't giving me the real deal. So now I'm working with Source. I'm working with my higher self. I'm working with a specialized team of Arcturians and Andromedans. They're higher dimension, higher frequency. They have no interest in the games that are going on down here as well. And then the Atlas ship is just a liaison. It's like, think about it as this massive energy that's like a digital multidimensional library that is carrying, that we can tap into their energy. And I remembered, so it just turned emerald green, I think in the last couple of days. There was an emerald green comet, I had to look it up, that arrived in our atmosphere early February 2023. I think it was called Z something. That's the first comet that I tapped into and brought a transmission in from. And it too hadn't been in our galaxy, in our atmosphere for thousands of years. So that's what piqued my interest about it. Because I thought, why? Then I was asking, like, why do some comets are here all the time and then others just show up every 4,000 or 5,000 years? So when I tapped into it, it had all this energy like from the past. It had all this information that like it had from Earth. So the message that comet gave me was it was coming in to drop off new energy, do a little collective scan of the planet and take back other energy, take it back to source, like an update on humanity.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been given so far. And we'll look at it in a couple of weeks. 3i Atlas is doing the same. It's bringing this whole digital library of the whole history of Earth and our galaxy and the other universes. And it's coming in to collect information and sort of do an analysis and help if it can.
Yeah, that's interesting. I remember who said that about the sun being a Stargate. I mean, Michelle, who comes on my show, Michelle Whitney, says it a lot. But then she said it came from Damon T. Barry, that documentary, The Knowledge of Forever Time, which is really good, by the way. It's a really good documentary. I think that people should watch that. You know, it gives a lot of good information. You know what I mean?
That's cool. Well, I think they've shut down a lot of the observatories because they weren't able to stop people from getting images of the ships coming in.
Yeah.
So there's one lady that I follow. I just can't remember her last name. Her first name's Gina. She still does get a lot of images. So I'm not sure which observatory she's found that's still open. But I don't see her on YouTube anymore. So I think her YouTube got shut down.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's been documenting that for years. She was brought my way because she was showing daily proof. She would take images from the observatories and then she would do updates about them. So she's got images of the black cubes coming in. She's got images of like these huge light ships coming in. So they're both, and I'm I'm getting my nausea. So the black cubes are still the Borg. They're still the Archons. They're still here.
Wow.
Yeah. So that makes me think that the sun. Well, that makes me think that the sun is still an open energy, like it still hasn't been resolved about who is taking care of our sun.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh yeah. Yeah. Or do you think they have it guarded, like blocked off, so we can't access it or something like that? Is that what?
Okay. Well, that would actually be a good question for Carrie because she might have some intel about that as well.
Yeah.
So I'll watch your show after I do my show. I'm going to be live on Rumble, everyone, right after this as well. So if anybody wants to come in and ask me a question, that will be a platform where we can just talk freely as well. But I'm thinking that for some reason, both ships can still come in. So I remember there was a Voyager, I think it was the finale of Voyager actually, where they got back to Earth by going into this trans warp hub. And it kind of looked like a sun, like it had all this like a bubble around it, that you couldn't see. But it's almost as if different ships could go in freely and then use a different portal to come into Earth. So maybe they monitor each other and they figure out when certain ships can come in and when they can't.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, the UFOs are coming. The UFOs are coming in, right? So they're here. And they're, I don't know, like Rob, have you had any are the UFOs benevolent? Are they connected to any star system? Like, have you had any information about that?
I haven't anybody bring any information forward lately about that. No, I mean, it's, I'm excited what people start saying,
Yeah, there's still so many sightings every single day. And there's so they're here. I saw somebody post, there was a whole group of them recently in Sedona, so they're definitely here. So it's interesting how there's aligning dark and light ships here, and that we're not seeing more battles.
Yeah.
Maybe they all cloak like the Klingons. Maybe they don't. Maybe they have sensors they pick up when the other ships are around and they all cloak.
Yeah, Joyful Jennifer saying her pictures. She has pictures of orbs and UFOs, and a lot of people have pictures now. Like,
yeah. So Joyful Jennifer, where are you? Where are you located? Well, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna pull a card or two about all what we're talking about. Just want to ask like finale, but yeah, where are you, Joyful Jennifer? I can't remember. So I just want to ask. I just want to ask about the UFOs and the Dark Alliance, like how they can coexist here at the moment. Through the sun. Okay, can't make this up, Rob.
Wow, that's amazing.
So there's some kind of intergalactic agreement that allows both forces to use the sun.
Wow.
But I'm getting that. So my body sensations are like happy or restrictive. So I'm getting this restrictive energy right now of the Dark Alliance doesn't want the other alliance here. Like they don't want the light ships here, but they don't have any control over it, is what I'm hearing. That's super interesting. Oh, she's in California. Joyful Jennifer's in California.
Yeah, she's out in sunny California.
Yeah. So so to me, that means they're here. They're all here observing and probably helping some of the alliance groups with certain things like research and all of that. We've done shows about this before. They've all been working, with the background. I don't know if we want to say military, the White Hats or however we want to word it. The Earth Alliance. They've all been working with them for years, like at least since Area 51, at least since Roswell that we know about. I think we've looked at it before. It's even gone back to World War II in Germany. So, yeah. So there's been, and maybe at that point, even the UFOs or the groups that we were working with were not the good ones. Let me pull a couple of my galactic heritage cards and just see what we need to know about the current UFOs. I mean, I think that they're neutral. I don't see them harming anybody, but there used to be a lot of abductions. Rob, are you getting any guests or any information about any recent abductions?
Not yet, not recently. Not. I mean, let's ask the audience. Is anybody in the audience having any experiences lately? Anybody like being taken or anything like that. Like, not recently, you know.
Yeah, because I kind of feel that has come to an end unless someone still has a soul contract and they haven't like cleared it out. This is interesting. So I got 41 Pleiades guilt. So even a lot of the light forces were involved in some of the weird stuff at the beginning, like the abductions and stuff like that, because people were, you know, I go back to X-Files first season of that's what they showed, right? They showed the Greys and the Zetas abductions. Even Scully was abducted for tissue samples for experiments. So even the Pleiades were at that time were aware of what was going on, but they maybe not necessarily could assist us, because look at even now, look at how far we've come and we're still in the midst of this battle. Then we have 80 embracing family, the Zetas present. So the Zetas and the Greys are still around. And then 52 progressive desires Earth present. So it's almost like they've all been working like an allegiance in a way, because of what happened in the past. It's like everyone might have a piece of the puzzle to repair our DNA. So let me just see. I also heard, I think so maybe you had a show where someone talked about that the Zetas and the Greys were actually were involved in some of the abductions because their race was failing, and they were looking for help with their race as well. Two of Pentacles. So both sides, the Dark Alliance and the Earth Alliance, are having to work together right now. So that's interesting.
Black Feather in the Wind said she has scoop marks on her. She sent me a picture of it. She did.
Yeah.
She
I got God bumps, Black Feather. Are you still in New York in the city? All the cities are being inundated right now. I had to actually hand over Vancouver to the Arcturians because it was so overwhelming to me. Like it's almost as if like the cities are the ground zero for a lot of the energy battles and things being released and everything like that. So I haven't been into the city for a while, but yeah, if you're still in New York, yes. Yeah. So yeah, definitely Black Feather. There's stuff. There's all this stuff going on underground. There's all this stuff like in and around us. So just keep commanding your sovereignty and shielding. It's I'm getting nausea. So yeah, it's what you're suspecting. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when we reclaim our sovereignty, honestly, everyone, that's kind of when the battle around us begins. It happened for me too. Things started really getting intense. When was that? Was it around the Lions Gate? So sometimes when we reclaim our sovereignty, we just have to keep doing it all the single time, because it is pushing us back to like, no, I'm a sovereign being from Prime Source and you're not allowed to come near me. So calling your teams, ask for them to expel whatever is bothering you. And there could, I don't know, like maybe wherever you're parking, Black Feather, or wherever you are, they have picked up your signature. But I'm living in a metal tower. All the towers in any areas, there's usually a cluster of them, like there's 15. So the Arcturians actually have come in and they park here every night now, and to neutralize, because they use the metal and glass towers, the high rises. The other team uses them for for their forces. Yes, please. Yeah, do Black Feather. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. You're not the only one, Black Feather. I had another client too. She had a bunch of bites show up a couple of weeks ago. I had one show up too, and I looked up and I went, okay, frankincense, go away. But it's been honestly, everyone since Lionsgate, it's been rough. It's been almost as if we reclaim our sovereignty and they see our light and then they go, oh, well, we want you back on our team. And so they're trying to create fear. They're trying to create stress, and don't give them the satisfaction. Just tell them to keep working with your dragons, Black Feather, because the dragons are one of the most aligned teams besides the galactic goddesses on behalf of Prime Source. So they are neutral, as well as the Arcturians and the Andromedans. And always say of the light, always stay connected to Prime Source. But yeah, you're not the only one, Black Feather. There have been reports of lots of interference. Oh, actually, before we wrap up, Rob, when we spoke last time a couple of weeks ago, you actually shared that you were no longer. You're welcome. You're no longer experiencing interference. Do you remember what shifted it for you?
I don't know. It's just that.
Because for the longest time, that's what we talked about. And then when we talked about it 2 weeks ago, you're like, no, it's not happening anymore. Like, do you remember when you noticed that it stopped?
I just don't. It doesn't bother me at all anymore.
And I think that's it. That's it. Some days it's really going to bother us. And then we're going to get to a point where we're just like, yeah, whatever. You're like a little mosquito. Like, just go away. We don't have time for this, you know? I was guided a week ago. I don't know if any of you ever watched the show, and it's no longer streaming on any of the services. Third Rock from the Sun. So I was guided to go watch that because it's hilarious. It's hilarious about, like, there's these aliens that arrive in human form on Earth, and then they just make everything that's going on Earth so funny because none of it makes sense. Did you ever watch that show, Rob?
Yeah, it's a good show. I like it.
Yeah. So that's what I started watching, and I was just laughing my head off because they're trying to fit in, they're trying to blend in. Nothing makes that. They just sort of show. And I watched it when it was on air too, and it was just like it totally just gets us back into, we're on a mission, we're here doing our thing, we're trying to blend in, we're trying to figure things out. We did not get a manual, and the battle is still like big. So I bet you Carrie's going to have lots of intel about that.
Yeah, I might have to reschedule that because now she can't do it until an hour later, and I have a show at 8 p.m. Eastern with Holy. We're gonna have Peter Maxwell Slattery on and James Gilliland. So
yeah. Well, you know what? I think the universe might be rearranging it for you, Rob, because you're tired from your travels too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna figure out what's going on. But I could always do Carrie tomorrow or something.
So I've got to get going as well anyway. So unless there's any other questions, we can.
And you're going live now on Rumble, right?
I'll be live on Rumble. Well, I'm a little behind schedule, probably in like 15 minutes. I need a 15-minute break. So yeah, if you all want to come over there, you can ask me questions just like today, and I'm going to deep dive, and I won't. There's no filter. There's no filter. So.
All right. Well, thanks, Pink Bella. Do you want to tell people where they can find you? And this was awesome.
Yeah, what a great show. Thank you, everyone, for coming. AlohaPinkBella.weebly.com is my website, and my email is the best way to get a hold of me. There's still spaces available for the Water Guardian grid work, as well as I'm training. There's one-on-one training now. If anybody wants to be a water guardian for your area, working with the dragons and the goddesses. What else is going on with me? Galactic Akashic Records. I've got Substack. Please follow me on Substack. Always free, but then I've got another founding member support, and I think that's it right now. That's enough.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in today, and I'll be live at some point tonight, whether it's with Carrie Cassidy or with Peter Maxwell Slattery and James Gilliland. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet or how this is going to work out, but I will be live tonight. And go check out Pink Bella's stream on Rumble in 15 minutes. And thank you everybody for tuning in.